Well, first things first, on Sunday we reacted to Take Two.
Oh my
all of our
God.
like lyric breakdown, everything is on that video, so it should be popping out hopefully the information up there somewhere.
Yeah.
But today we got the live performance clip for Take Two. Best thing to wake up to, by 100%. The way.
100%. It has been so hard lately not to just play this on loop. Let me tell you. Like, I have my streaming playlist, but like it's every time that song comes on, I turn up my speaker a little bit because I'm like, I gotta hear this song.
Listen,
so good.
I will admit I may have looped it a couple times.
Just a couple of times.
Just a couple times. And then I went back to my streaming.
You know what's great about
but I'm
that,
guilty as charged.
Guilty. So guilty. This is why it's great. Thank you, Hype, for this, for uploading like the 8 different videos on like TikTok and like YouTube, because I can just loop it.
Make a playlist with all of them, and then you just play all of them back to back, and then it just keeps on going.
It keeps on going. It's perfect. It's my ideal.
I would love that they would do it on Spotify too, even though it's just sound and it wouldn't make a difference.
No, but it would make a difference in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't have to press a repeat button and then
100%. 100%. Yeah, our reaction to Take Two, there's not a lot that I'd want to add to how we reacted.
We're both able to talk pretty well in that reaction video, so please go and watch it if you can.
There was one comment on the video that I was like, thank God somebody else has thought about this except for me. Yes, it does sound like a country song.
I saw that comment.
Pop country mix.
Yes.
I knew it.
I saw that comment, and as soon as I read it, I was like, "Oh my God, Jess!" And then I started laughing.
Hearts to you, ARMY, the Chilean mom.
We love you. Love from Canada. Even though I'm not in Canada, but love from Canada.
Love from Canada. Yeah, I mean, like the live version, their vocals sound so good. Like, it's funny to me because we just like accept their like live vocals as normal because also they are
we were
amazing.
Wrong for all the guess the chair guesses.
100%. I was absolutely incorrect for every single one.
The plush blue one, everyone was like, "Oh, that's V. That's 100% V." And at the back of my mind, I was like, "No, that's Jin. That is 100% Jin." At least that one I was right.
Yeah.
That one I was right.
It was
I'm
so funny.
So glad.
So funny.
I was like, it's opulent. Like, you know, opulent, you usually give that to Tay because of the way he dresses.
It's Jin,
but
though.
it's Jin. Like,
Listen,
just remember his B room.
My husband prefers the nice things. And I love that.
Just remember his room from B.
It's true.
It makes sense.
It makes sense. I saw this TikTok that made me like cry laugh because it was just so funny. There's a moment where Hobie and Junie are just like vibing so hard. Like they are listening to a completely different song than the rest of them. Like Jimin is singing his heart out and so is Jin. And then they're just like
the 94s. There's something else.
I was crying laughing. I was
like, I just love like in the order they were sat in. I don't know. I just like the soulmates, and then Yoonmin, and then you have Jae between Yoongi and Jin. It just I don't know. It makes sense.
It does.
And then Jin and Namjoon, and then Hobie next to June. It's just I don't know. It just makes sense.
It was just so like they were so happy and so. I don't know. There was just something beautiful about
everybody had hair.
Yeah, it was great. I had a great time.
I had to make that comment. I am so sorry. It was great. So sorry.
It was amazing. I absolutely 100 wholeheartedly love that performance, and
I had to make it funny somehow.
You did. I wish that they would put that on like that version on Spotify because I need it. I
also need Arson rock version on Spotify, which also came out this week.
Also, yeah, like where that is the Hobie Palooza version.
Yep, it is
Arson, and you bet. See, Kate, this is why I can't share any of those videos from that concert. Let me tell you why.
I know you can. It's
because
just a flashback to the D-Day tour where you added Max and then he reposted you on his story.
it's because I'm literally screaming. The Arson one, I can't even watch myself because I'm screaming the whole time. The
Yeah.
entire time. It's great though. I love that video. Sometimes
I
I'll
was
watch
watching it from this spot, you know? Like my computer is now in the spot that I was watching Hobie Palooza in.
I'm upset that it's not on, like, I love SoundCloud because a lot of the songs that they post on there are very like remixy and
Yeah,
sentimental,
but
and
Spotify
but
is so much better.
I want to stream it so badly. And speaking of another song that we are not going to be able to stream, Jimin did a live performance of Dear Army, which was a secret track on his album Face.
Yep.
First of all, my heart. Secondly, I woke up to that and just started crying. Like, I hadn't even watched the video yet.
Yeah.
Already crying. His voice sounded incredible.
When
like,
does it not though?
Wow.
Like I'm gonna be real
It's
here.
amazing.
When does
Yeah.
like when is I can't speak. Jimin's voice is the one of an angel.
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so like I love his like falsetto head voice. It's absolutely beautiful.
The Take Two live performance, I just wish we had more of the Jin's live ad-libs.
Yes.
That's the one thing that was missing. I just wish he did
yeah.
more of them live
His
for that
like
performance.
his voice is so distinct from like all the other members. Like JK's is really like that buttery smooth, like he could do no wrong with that voice. Like
Yeah.
it's a type of voice that I would
I
like
mean, he is
fall
main
asleep.
vocalist for a reason.
Yeah. Jin's is very like he and he like Yoongi said this, you know, he has the widest range out of all the members, from like his deeper range all the way up to his like falsetto.
Oh yeah.
Like he has the largest range in BTS. And the fact that like in this song he gets to show that range off so incredibly well. Excuse me, sir, I'ma die now. Jimin, beautiful angel voice. Tae is always a surprise to me because he's got this really beautiful like tenor tone.
I've said this multiple times, but Tae is a problem.
He's such a problem.
All the time.
He's such a problem. And the fact that like he can just switch the voices just back and forth. Like the ending note that he had with his like high like head voice was, oh my god. I had to pause the video and like rewind a little bit because I was like,
Tae's lower register is smooth like butter.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I did it. I made that pun.
It's incredible. Like, go listen to Singularity again because, like,
don't even get me started with Singularity.
Excuse me.
Don't even get me started with Singularity.
Yeah. And like, this song really does also show off and we talked about this again in like our Take Two reaction, but like the range of our rappers to have gotten so much more expansive, like especially Junie and
they've settled very well into their own style and flow.
Yeah. And it works so well as a trio. Like I've said this so many times, but their voices together, because Hobie's is like that perfect, like high, beautifully like staccato voice that like pierces through like
Hobie's like up there, and then Junie and then Yoongi like more on the lower tone.
And the way that they can just mesh those voices in and out of each other, like come on. It's beautiful. Like I'm just I can't get enough of it. I really can't. It's my favorite.
All right, Sushita with Jin featuring Your Army Ho.
Okay, first of all, I called it. I called it so hard. Yeah. You don't even know. I called this. I predicted this last
I was like,
week.
it's Hobie or JK. And it was Hobie. Yeah.
So
the way he came in though,
I was laughing so incredibly hard. I was really surprised at how open they were about talking, especially about like that 2017 2018 era of deciding whether they were going to disband or not, and then choosing to go forward. And I love what Jin said about, you know, just like it was hard to talk about, but I think it was necessary to tell the fans where we were emotionally and how we were feeling at the time. And
I mean, they were highly overworked mentally and physically.
And, you know, by the time that they had decided that they were going in was past, obviously, that award show with the iconic moments that happened. So they had already decided to continue with the work that they were doing. And even though we didn't necessarily know the immediate struggles that they were having, I am so incredibly proud and grateful that they wanted to share those moments with us. And they have always been like this. They have always been honest and open about how they're feeling and their emotions at the time, or how they felt in the past.
And it's one of the reasons, like one of the things that set them apart from a lot of other groups.
100%, 100%. It's the honesty that I don't think we get to see, especially in the K-pop industry as a whole. We don't get to see these like backdoor discussions about things like disbanding or changing things or anything like that. We never get to see that. And I think that's also why the dinner last year for Festo was a really impactful period, because they were so honest about where they were and how they wanted to proceed going forward. And that's just a testament to like trusting ARMY to take those things and be like, it's gonna be okay, I promise. So just like it's incredible. And I also do love like that Jin and Yoongi's relationship is probably one of the uniquest that is in the group, because Yoongi, like Jin is his only young.
Yeah, they're the two oldest, and I think they're the closest in age, like in birthdays.
In birthdays, yeah. So I think, you know, their relationship is such a unique one, especially because they, you know, are forever roommates. Like Jin had said, like they'll be roommates forever. He would.
I mean,
be
he
a
even
roommate
said
with
it.
Jin.
Yeah, he was like, if I had to choose any of the member, the only member to be a roommate, the only member I would choose is you, Yoongi.
Yeah.
Like he said it on the show.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. It's amazing. And you know, Yoongi like taking his advice from In the Soup and being like, you know, you can't change which again, like Jin, he just thinks so deeply about things, which is part of the reason why he's my bias. You know, he has this way to like really just say the things that need to be said, but without saying it as like a harsh or like a criticism, but more of like a, what am I trying to say? Like, it's not, he wants to say it in a way that like people will understand. And
a lot of people attribute Jin to being like the silly, funny all the time, kind of young, but he's like very perceptive.
100%.
And very well spoken, even though he's one of the more quiet in certain instances.
Oh, for sure.
Especially in like interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's like very well spoken and very it's like perceptive, and he gives really good advice from what the members have said. So
super good. I mean, like we even saw that within the Soup. You know, he said to Yoongi, like, you can't change the past, you can only go forward. I'm just summarizing it, but that was basically the intent of their talk, because Yoongi at the time, you know, he was very much like in the past of like, we could have done this, we could have done that, it could have been better.
Yeah, he was trying to write in the Soup too, and he was struggling a lot.
Yeah, and you know, Jin just said, you can't change what's in the past, you can only do what's going forward. You can't ever go back in time, you can only go forward in time. And I think that's such a smart thing to say, especially if like, you know, you're caught in this cycle of like thinking of things. It's like you have to just accept the things that you can't change. And anyway, as I was saying, sorry, there were some technical difficulties. There's a thunderstorm. This interruption
was brought to you by a Calgary thunderstorm.
sorry. But what I was trying to say was like, Jin's like thing about, you know, you can't change the past for what it is. You have to just move forward, I think is an amazing sentiment that I'm really glad that Yoongi took that advice and implemented it into this D-Day album, because you can really just feel that in D-Day. Like, it's so incredibly clear.
I mean, it's one of the main theme of the album.
Yeah.
So you feel that a lot.
I feel that a lot. Hobie being a surprise guest is the funniest thing. His entrance is the top tier of hilarity. Also the fact that Yoongi was getting so annoyed. He was like, who is this person interrupting my conversation?
Both of them almost being like, get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. Who is this staff? Like, who is this
Who
intern?
is this? Who is this? Fire them immediately. And then it turns out to be the Sunshine. He was like, it had to be JK or Hobie, and I'm like, nailed it on the head. It obviously needed to be one of those two things.
It just makes sense, not considering that it came out and both of them are in the military. So
yeah. I also like really appreciate them because Jin is even though he's like probably outwardly very confident, he's also very inwardly like reflective and has a lot of what I have, which is imposter syndrome of I
feel like he's very similar to Jin in that aspect. Like they're both like very bubbly and fun on the outside, but they have this introspective that's very serious and perceptive.
Yes.
Both of them.
Also very self-critical.
Especially Hobie.
Especially Hobie. And honestly, I understand. Like, I am extremely self-critical as well. And sometimes it's a good thing because it makes you want to be better and it makes you want to learn and grow and like do better at the stuff that you're doing. The other part of that caveat, though, is you get this imposter syndrome of like, do I even deserve to be where I am? And I'm really glad that Hobie and Yoongi...
It's one of the worst feelings.
It is one of the worst feelings. I'm really glad that Hobie and Yoongi were able to just like, I don't know, like reassure Jin that like, no, you have like one of the strongest ranges out of the group. You are the pillar of BTS. Like without you, it wouldn't be BTS.
You are the young of BTS and no one can take that from you.
Yeah. And I think like even, you know, they said it so well of like, we are who we are because of each other. We are BTS because of the members.
And as I said earlier, they're all like a piece of the puzzle that that makes BTS.
And without one of them, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be BTS. So they need each other. It's also like very their love for each other is just so unconditional. Like
it knows no bounds.
It knows no bounds. It's so unconditional that you rarely get to see that in not just in a group, but in male relationships as well. I feel like a lot of them don't show this like beautifully vulnerable side.
That's something we've touched a couple times over like in the past couple episodes.
Yeah. It's like very reassuring and very unconventional, but in like a super good way. But I love that episode. It did make me cry a couple of times, especially when they were talking about the 2017-2018, because that period of time was not a fun time to be an ARMY. I can tell you that for free. Definitely
in that sense I kind of got lucky with because I became an ARMY like basically right after.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. It was not, I had to like step away from Twitter at that point.
It must have been so toxic during that time. It must have been toxic. So bad.
Super toxic, super just not the best time to be an ARMY like at all.
But we got a trailer for youth drama based on the HYYH storyline.
Yes, we finally got the trailer for it. It's interesting. I am interested to see what they are going to do with this drama. You know, it'll be interesting to see where they take it, you know? Like, here's the thing with media, and I've said this before, as somebody who, like, works in film and television, and especially adaptations being the key factor here, is that it's not going to be a one-for-one recreation, and I think a lot of people need to, like, wrap their head around that concept, because it's something like you can't translate one media form into another media form 100%. It just doesn't work that way.
That's why like book adaptations, a lot of the time there's like some stuff, like some series or some universe are better represented than others when
Yes.
it's adapted into film or TV shows.
Yeah.
One that comes to mind that did like fairly okay, The Hunger Games did fairly okay, but
Yeah.
the Divergent series didn't even get its last film released.
No.
Because it did so bad. But hopefully it's a decent one with this one.
Yeah, hopefully.
We can only hope.
I mean, yeah,
like K-dramas are like most of the time usually like really good. So...
Yeah, they're usually quite good. I think it'll be. I think you got to take off the like the Bora lens a little bit and just like look at it as a new piece of media rather than the connection that it has from the old one. As long as it's as long as that's respectful to the original source material, it'll be a good adaptation.
For sure.
That's the key for me when it comes to adaptations. Like The Hunger Games did that really well. Lord of the Rings being another one. Harry Potter.
You also have to remember that the BTS universe was a web novel too.
Yes.
So they can also take a bit from that as well. So hopefully with those details and imagery added to the actual like imagery from the music videos, we might get something.